Let's go through the diagram to explain the command execution process involving the terminal, shell, and kernel. Terminal. This represents the user interface, where the user enters commands. Shell. The shell is responsible for processing the commands entered by the user. Command parsing. Once the shell receives a command, it parses it to understand its structure and components. Path resolution. After parsing, the shell resolves any paths mentioned in the command, converting them to absolute paths if necessary. Kernel. The shell then sends the processed command to the kernel for execution. Process creation. Upon receiving the command, the kernel creates a new process to carry out the command execution. Command execution. The newly created process executes the command within itself. Result. Once the process completes executing the command, it sends the result back to the kernel. Output. The process also sends any output or error messages generated during command execution back to the shell. Output handling. The shell handles the received output, deciding whether to display it to the user or redirect it to another command. Terminal. Finally, the shell presents the output or any error messages to the user through the terminal. In summary, the user enters a command in the terminal, which is then processed by the shell. The shell parses and expands the command, resolves any paths, and sends the processed command to the kernel. The kernel creates a process to execute the command, and once it's done, the result and output are sent back to the shell. The shell handles the output and presents it to the user through the terminal. This explanation should provide you with a clear understanding of the command execution process involving the terminal, shell, and kernel.